Hello, wider internet. It's us, once again. It's the Momo B, Miri, aka Frank, aka Mr. Blades in the Dark himself. And you know me, Story Dad. I'm the guy that's on your screen almost every single session. This session comes fresh off of the back of a very intense moment. Our good slide, Miss Vivian Vale, she had been taken into the inner sanctum of Father Wraith. Father Wraith is the parishioner of the Church of the Holy, or the Hollow Choir, a church that is devoted to a forgotten god known as the Empty One. Vivian, Silhouette, and Sterling, Shadow, have ventured here with Corin Valeris, their information broker, and the one who's been setting up their scores, for one singular purpose, and that was to disrupt the spirit devices that were going to interfere with the spirit wardens and their ability to do what they need to do, track down killers and the restless dead. One thing led to another, and Sterling found himself needing to dismantle devices that interrupted the very bells within those bell towers that rung out when the dead finally come to rest. Vivian, however, took a very different approach to infiltration. Father Wraith had a very frank discussion with Vivian, who was posing as a senior member of a sister branch of the Church of the Hollow Choir. Tonight was to be the night that there were to be sacrifices, martyrs, tithes of blood and spirit in the name of the Empty One, spilt onto the floor of this church. Vivian was chosen to be the hand that delivered those sacrificial blows. Blades in the Dark, Duskfall in particular, is a city of dark secrets, horrifying things that lurk in the shadows and the miasma just outside of the lightning wall. Some of the things that are let in defy reason. They bend reality. Some people think they're just rumors, and they will go their entire lives without coming face to face. Father Wraith is a demon. An eldritch creature formed out of hate, malice, duplicity, and horror. Two spiraling obsidian horns spiraled off of the back of his head. His large, muscular frame took on that same obsidian hue, and where his face was became a hollow pit filled with pinpricks of light, a swirling, endless, horrifying, infinite, where just before was a nose, a mouth, and eyes. So, feeling like the pressure was on, our good slide Vivian Vale plunged the wicked blade that was given to her by Father Wraith into the chest of a young acolyte that she had met just 10 minutes prior. Their blood spilling onto the floor. And that is where we ended. Vivian, you're standing in the presence of a horrifying, otherworldly monstrosity. You've seen plenty of nightmarish things upon the streets of Duskfall. Murders, people that have been flayed, horrifying wounds, bodies festering in the street, etc., etc. The list goes on. However, this feels significantly and poignantly different. So I will ask you, with that in mind, blood dripping from the blade that is in your hand, 2 more people ready to be sacrificed, and the whole congregation watching you, what do you do?
I think it feels like probably an eternity for her, as it does when you mull about in your own thoughts and you're nervous about something. She hesitates for probably what's an imperceptible amount of time to anyone else, but it feels like it takes her forever to move to the next one. And I don't think she's thinking about it as she does it. It comes as simply as any other task. At least in this moment, it does. Sort of disassociative state. Where she takes the blade, cleans it with one little swipe, and would move to the next.
your blade pierces the breast of the next sacrifice. Hot, crimson blood spilling along your hands, down the knife, staining that garment that you wear. Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
You and Corin exit to see silhouette as you move, standing in the back. You see her standing in front of this congregation. Corin is not like you. As you make eye contact with your wife, blood dripping down her elbows, Corin gasps, sharply, audibly. And 100 pairs of eyes silently turn to look at him and, by association, you.
Oh, boy.
And so I have an ask for the pair of you. Is there anything that you have as a trick up your sleeve to prevent Shadow and Corin from being pounced upon by the congregation?
How are you dressed?
I think that we, correct me if I'm wrong, GM, I assume we would all have similar garbs, but I don't
You
actually
did come
know.
in disguised, yeah?
Okay.
Oof.
Do you have anything before I do? I have an attempt, but it's not a great one. So if you have a better
I
one first.
don't have anything perfect, especially in the state that Sterling currently is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think when a cover is blown in a situation like this, if the mission indeed actually comes first, then and he is getting us into the situation, I think the only thing to do is to throw him under the bus and back that bus up. Because I don't know if Sterling is persuasive enough to convince the congregation of his innocence, especially in the state that he is now.
Did they look dirtied? Or what is your state right now, actually? Remind.
I don't think I'm in any sort of physical poor state, but I am probably looking pretty weary and tired.
I think the biggest hallmark of how Sterling is feeling at this moment is your eyes are wild.
Yeah.
Sterling does still have level 3 harm.
Yeah.
On the verge of possession.
Sterling looks manic, I would say, is
Oh, rare.
yeah, not a usual condition.
Well, I might be able to save it. I have a thought.
So Sterling's thought would be to give Vivian a moment, because I know that she has entered as an authority figure here, and anything she does is more likely to succeed than anything I do. But if she hesitated too long, then Sterling would try to turn on poor Corin.
Okay. Well, what's Vivian got?
She pauses in going for the next sacrifice. Cleans the blade quite finally. And would raise her eyes to meet yours across the room. And she wears a look of disappointment. Whether that's put on for show or not. There you are. You see fit to interrupt such a momentous occasion. And she rolls her eyes, and she looks to Father Wraith. It is no matter. They are assistants of mine. Please. And she puts her hand up. Do not mind these two fools. She dismisses them. Like, kind of does a very dismissive hand, like, my God, you ruin everything.
Okay.
Hoping that works. Okay. Oh, my assistant, sorry.
As you're speaking, Father Wraith, from the shadow that exists behind the podium, seems to dissolve. And then he appears very suddenly inside of the shadow of Corin and Shadow. His hands lay on your shoulders, and he looks with that featureless pit of a face back to Silhouette, and he simply says, "This one," and he squeezes Shadow's shoulder. "He can stay. This one," and he squeezes Corin's shoulder, "he's not yours." And I would like you to roll sway. I'm going to ask for it to be desperate.
Oh boy.
And it is going to be limited effect.
Oh, there is a weight on my shoulders. Okay. All right.
Oh man.
Not looking good. Not looking
It's not
good, folks.
not looking good.
Okay. Oh God, it's still. We haven't had time to rest. I can't push myself.
You could.
Yeah, you had 8 stress.
No, I could, but then I'd only have one free little blip on my stress,
Yeah.
and that's
it's
cutting.
rough. It's
I
rough.
will say, for the sake of argument, when a faceless demon is looking you in the eyes and asking you to lie to it, is that when you feel stressed?
You motherfucker. I mean, yes. You make fair points, and I'm always down for the bit.
Just saying.
So I will.
Okay. I would.
I'll follow your lead in this.
I would.
I believe. So I'm adding a die.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, that's a fail. That's crazy.
That's so bad. That is as bad as it gets. I rolled a 1, a 2, and a 2 for those watching.
For the people at home. A 1, a 2, and a 2 is bad on limited.
What if I have a way to play this off? What if then?
Desperate
I'm a
and limited.
I'm a good slide, okay? I have a thought. I have a
boy.
thought.
Okay.
I have a thought. I can
Uh-huh.
roll with whatever
There
punches.
is, I think you could. Well, let me
I can roll
see.
with whatever
We
punches
could, well, I want to hear you out, but if I'm not mistaken, there is one last thing that you can do, which is
We could resist the consequence depending on what it is.
I might
but that
break.
will
You could
risk you breaking.
I'm breaking. Like 100% I'm breaking. And then I can't I'm fucked either way.
Frank, remind me, how did deals with the devil work?
Devil's
bargain.
Usually, basically, the player will argue for something, or the GM
There it
will
is.
offer something adverse or
Yes.
bad to give another die to a roll. Is generally how they work. But you know,
Would you like to take a devil's bargain? In order
I'd be
to
willing
roll
to-
one additional dice and see if you can succeed at this?
you get to hear the bargain out, but you know.
Yes, I'm willing to I'm willing to hear it out.
You're willing to hear it out?
Yes.
If you decide to take this bargain and try to save Corin and save Face with Father Wraith,
Oh.
for a period of time that I will not reveal, Shadow will break and be possessed by Father Wraith.
Oh boy,
But it
that
saves
is
them both.
that's
But it
a
saves
heavy,
them both.
heavy bargain.
And the consequences of that are, well, remain to be seen.
Heavy bargain. That's a heavy price. Ooh. Oh. Okay. And if I don't?
Then you have to resist the consequences.
Or take them, which could be even worse.
Oh my god, there's oh, I have to let him possess my husband. Oh. But that's only if I might as well try.
But then you're only going to get to roll one more die and hope that it's good.
I hope that
Otherwise,
it's a success.
he'll possess me anyway, and it still might fail. Though, you know, maybe he won't kill me after he possesses me. Who knows?
No. I'm a gambling man.
Okay.
I'll do it.
Okay. Roll that additional dice.
I can't watch.
I'm scared. No. I'm just choosing one that has a 1 pip.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just a random one. It
Mhm.
doesn't matter. Oh my god. I don't like this. For all that is good and holy. It was a 2. The worst has happened.
Okay. Your pleas that they are simply your assistants fall entirely on deaf ears. This is a creature of pure, unadulterated, malicious intent. you hear a swift crack, and a hand that moves quicker than the eye can track is suddenly inside of the back of Corin Valeris, gripping his spine, and with a sickening crunch, he makes a fist, and Corin gasps and goes limp. There is no space for those who are apostates to the Empty One. You paid tribute, spilled blood. These are thieves. I sense everything that happens in the shadows of my home. I don't admonish you for your lies, but I hate those that would come to defile our work. And he takes Shadow by the shoulder and places a clawed hand on either side of his face. Shadow, you see an infinite that you can't comprehend, and you feel like it is pulling at pieces of you that you did not know existed. You feel like you're being spread thin. And then the demon evaporates into motes of starlight that alight upon your skin, and your body is no longer your own. Sterling walks up to the front of the congregation and holds out his hand to take your bloody hand, Silhouette.
Like she just stares very blankly, eyes wide. And very hesitantly brings the hand forward to touch.
Escalation, destruction, and death. Those are the things that are waiting for you. You've walked in the darkness of something that you didn't want. You followed poor, curious Corin into my home, into the house of the Empty One. And in doing so, you'll be bound. This is now your fate. This is your life until it is done, or until you die. Thieves. but you'll be thieves no more. And it is surreal that this is coming out in the voice of Sterling, mixing and echoing with the voice of Father Wraith. You're going to try to stop the deaths. It was all for money, but you were going to try to do the right thing. I can feel it inside of him. Your husband was a good man.
That's it then. You want me to help you do these things and then what? You will release him?
I'm going to release him anyway. Power is sometimes misunderstood, and that can lead to confusion, hesitation. It's better to show you. This is what happens if you don't follow the exact path that you're on now. The false emperor needs to die. It isn't my will. It is the will of a power far older than I. And you will be that knife for the emperor. You and your darling husband. That means good people need to die.
I would trust that this is not a request you're making.
I don't work with trust. You'll have faith that everything that I am saying is true, or I will pluck every thread of your husband's soul, one by one, until he is empty.
Of course. Then I will have faith.
Your husband's hand snakes its way up your arm and takes your jaw and brings your face inches away from his, and you see in Sterling's eyes that infinite, inky, star-specked blackness, and the demon's voice gets low and guttural. Faith in what?
In you, in the empty one, correct?
Correct. He lets go. I'm glad you came tonight. It proves that the oldest and the forgotten gods are not as dishonest and capricious as I thought because you were delivered to me. I don't need these ones anymore. With a slash of Sterling's hand in a half-moon arc, the jaws of the congregation go slack, and they slump in the pews, dead. You will follow this exact trail. Dunville and the rest. They will die, but there is that fourth. Find them. And Sterling falls to the floor, completely limp, and Silhouette is left standing, coated in blood, inside of this forgotten god's chapel, while dozens of bells ring out. Because all of the devices were gone.
Oh my god. Oh my god, what the fuck do I do? My husband is unconscious!
Is there anyone that you can call upon? Anywhere you can go? Is there a trump card? Is there a flashback? Can you remember anything that you could have needed? Because the other option is to give in to despair
Go to jail!
and be taken away by the wardens.
Just let me know if I regain consciousness, GM. I am taking a ride on this one.
Enjoy the ride.
I just need Silhouette to make this decision, and then we will see.
You know what the funniest part is?
Mm-hmm.
I have one slot before I break. One dash. Now, do you recall if, because I do not recall, is it when you fill them all or when you go over?
When you fill them all.
It's when they get filled.
So if I take a flashback.
If you take a flashback,
Depending on how much, depends if it's a 0 stress or a 1 stress, but yeah.
It's going to be a 1 stress, and that's all it's going to take. But do I logically have something that doesn't require a flashback?
take your time and think. I won't count it against the time that it takes the... These things happen at the speed of thought, but the wardens will be on their way.
What is our location? Where's this church again?
The church was...
Brightstone, if I remember.
You are
correctly.
you are in
Brightstone?
Brightstone, yes, correct.
Hang on, I'm looking through contacts.
I'm thinking. I'm having big thinks. I have a bold thought.
Yeah.
And it may end up with me still in jail.
Okay.
But it might work. It might work. What if I wait for them to get here?
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a victim here, after all. I didn't do this. You should have seen this horrible assailant come through. I think that might be the best she's got. Because I think I'm gonna have to cry to some blue coat men. Mm-hmm.
Bold strategy, Cotton.
You wait.
She would clean up. I think she would try and stage this as best she could.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are quite a few bodies. She's got a lot to work with. So in the limited amount of time that she has, she would drag Corin's body closer to her, to the front.
Mm-hmm.
And she would take the blade, and kind of like set it at her side. And I think she's just gonna be in a little heap on the ground, cradling Sterling in her lap, and she has started to cry as soon as she could. So it looks like she's been crying for a bit. That's what she's doing. She is prepping her acting scene.
I'm going to assume that you remove the disguises.
Yes.
So that you don't look
Yes.
like a member of the congregation.
Yes.
Okay. Sterling, you do wake up about 5 minutes after it all shakes out. You're being cradled by your wife, and
She's crying over you.
it is to the tolling of bells and the cawing of crows that you do wake. And Silhouette, I will have you roll for the result. I think it will be desperate, but it will be standard effect.
Okay. Might be going to
And
jail.
if Sterling would like to assist, or simply lie there in a heap.
I think Sterling, for the moment, does not have the wherewithal to do anything, but that may change depending on the next few moments.
Yeah, let's see.
You rolling, Momo?
Oh, should I roll now? Okay.
Yeah, because
I was preparing my tears.
that will be it'll be very much how they react to it all, so we can start the dialogue based on.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, we'll need the roll first.
A 5, a 4, and a 5. Thank goodness.
Man, if only we had that about 20 minutes ago.
Oh,
Right.
everything would be different.
Yes, it will.
But
So it is.
okay.
So it goes.
So it goes. Well, your
I have before that gets there, GM, I kind of wanted to react to the I hear Sterling wakes up, I think relatively knowledgeable about what just happened to him. And, not of sound body and not in control of himself. But obviously very shaken, and wakes up, comes to in Vivian's arms, and sees her crying above him. And he would immediately start crying and hold her hand and just say, We had a good run, didn't we?
Stop. Don't be sentimental. It's not an end of a run.
I regret nothing with you.
I don't either. And we're not going to go to jail. I wouldn't do well there.
And he will just close his eyes and grip her hand like a child, hoping this will all go away and just stay there.
Copper masked spirit wardens storm into the room. Spirit charms across their arms. They look down at you. An imposing figure kneels as the rest, a collection of 12, fully 12 spirit wardens,
Oh boy.
start trying to piece out what happened here. One kneels down to you. What happened?
It happened very quickly. We were attending Mass. And it was normal. Incredibly normal. And then it wasn't. He came through. I'm so sorry. I did kill him. I did. He was. And she kind of looks down at her husband and she runs her hand through his hair. It was the only way to save him and myself. Him. And she tilts her head towards Corin's body.
Ah. The other spirit wardens are making their way through the pews. They have electroplasmic devices and spirit jars. They are collecting things. They are subduing things that are clawing out of these bodies. A demon-slain human dies pretty rough. But this singular spirit warden that looks over at Corin, then at you, and then at Sterling. Can you stand?
I think so. I luckily got the least of it. May I ask you something?
Yes.
I've not had to do something like that before. It is... I've not had to kill someone before, sir. Does this happen often? Will I be... If I must... What happens now?
You and your husband will be questioned. There is a due process to follow. This will follow you. I wish that it didn't, but you're marked. It comes with a stain, and it never comes off. You'll have to live with that. There are people you can talk to. I suggest you don't turn to drugs. No matter how easy it will be to get out. I'm going to take you and your husband outside, and we'll wait for the bluecoats.
Thank you. Really and truly.
And this nameless spirit warden takes you outside, and there is only one more roll before we can move on. The spirit warden looks to Shadow, and there is a blue-green glazed glass that is inlaid into the copper where the eyes are. And he looks you up and down, and his eyes go to where you have that bell suppression device hidden. And I am going to need one last finesse.
Oh boy.
Risky with a standard effect.
Here we go. Partial success.
Partial success.
Okay.
Okay. You, we're just going to allow this one to push through.
There's
Yes,
plenty
that'll
of
be nice.
consequences you can give us later.
That's how I feel. And you stand outside. The spirit warden stands with you, both as a show of solidarity for the horrors that are inside of that church, and to keep a silent vigil on you in case things are not what they seem. And not so very long afterwards, a gruff-looking squad of bluecoats comes around the corner, and one of them in the front with a large scar running from the top of his head all the way down to his chin, one milky eye, stocky and sleeves rolled up past the elbow, wanders up to you, the pair of you. Yeah, all right, warden. You can piss off now. We can take from here. The warden says, these are the only two that are alive. The only thing that you're taking from here is these two into custody and then very likely letting them go on their way. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right, shitheads. Come on. You're coming with us. And they clap manacles onto your wrists, and you are marched away finally from the church. There's a whisper in Shadow's ear from this big gruff man as you're walking down the street. Where's Corin?
Putting it together very quickly, Sterling will kind of glance at him with intense eyes and say, He got ripped in half by a demon.
Yeah, all right. We're gonna walk another 2 blocks, and then you's gonna go on your merry way. We'll be in contact in the next couple of days. All right? All right. So, as he says, you walk for a few blocks, takes the mannequins off, or the manacles off, and you see one of the blue coats is wearing a bandana across the face, or like a face mask of some sort. You know, the smog of the city can get to some people.
Mm-hmm.
They're like a thinner, kind of waifish looking figure. They pull the mask down. They say, "Hey, it's me." And you see Moth.
Oh my god, it's baby.
Hey, what happened? And as you sort of walk away and the other blue coats turn to leave, Moth is there and looking concerned.
Um, a demon, I think.
What? We work with Corin. We were working with Corin. Are we?
The demon just ripped him in half, Moth.
Darling, no, Moth. You shouldn't ask any more questions you don't want the answer to.
We were hired by the. Okay.
I tried. I really did try.
Are you two safe? Are you okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, we got word from Corin that things, to be on standby in case the Bluecoats got called, and Lampblacks. So we pulled on the uniform and ran some interference, and then we heard the bells.
Yeah.
And
he was one of them.
I've never heard that many bells.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Moth, like, in a moment of like empathy, like puts a hand on Silhouette, just on like the most gentle touch on the forearm. Just says, "I'm really sorry. I know things can go sideways really fast, but I forgive you for the rug thing. We didn't mean it."
It's okay. We shouldn't have done that in the first place. I hope you liked your new rug I sent you.
Yeah, no, the rug's great. I think we're going to be working together a bit more in the near future. I think a few things are. I think they're peeling the onion, and y'all are getting brought in for better or worse. So.
Okay.
Well, if you need a place to stay, you can crash at my place. If you don't feel safe at home, the Lampblacks got your back. And then Moth kind of like turns and then takes a look at Shadow really quickly, like gives a look of concern, and then dashes off into the night.
Sweet kid.
He would do well to stay away from us.
They definitely would.
Let's go home.
Okay.
The pair of you head home. And it feels a little less warm, a little more empty. Shadows in the corners of the room are a little deeper. And Shadow, you very specifically have this overwhelming feeling like there is a crowd watching you. But, and we can get into the specifics of the score's different mechanical variables, but
Oh yeah, of which there are many.
of which there are many. But that was technically, on paper, a successful score.
Technically.
Technically. Yeah.
I think upon getting home, I know we have a cistern. Sterling would just say nothing and strip down and just start running shower and sit down on the ground and let the water wash over his head, hands pulled around his knees, clawing at his arms and just sobbing. After a few minutes, you would just try to wash what I'm sure is a ton of blood off and join Vivian, whatever she's doing, and just hold her.
Yeah.
She's doing, I think. She sees you, like, very promptly go into the ensuite of sorts. And thinks better of going after you. I think typically she would, but in this moment, she gives you the time to do what you are doing. And would go perhaps to the water basin that's in their kitchen. And run water over her hands and stare into it. Letting similarly, the blood rinse off of her until she heard the water stop in the ensuite. She'd be waiting for you, hands dried, and sat.
I think he would come mostly unclothed to her and just grab her from behind, rest his head on her shoulder, and just kind of whisper, You did the right thing, darling.
And what's that?
You kept us alive.
perhaps.
As the pair of you are holding one another in the quiet of your home, there is a distinct shift that you feel. You took a very specific trait as a crew, as a pair,
yes.
as partners. There are unseen portions of Duskfall. The Ghost Field is this second overlapping realm that sits coterminously with the city. Echoes from the past or from the future, things that could be, things that were, things that are, but remain unseen. And your tower, this watchtower in which you have made your home, suddenly, and for just you two, seems resplendent, very austere, well-made cobbled stone, fresh mortar, brilliant pieces of artwork on the inside. It was a watchtower, and then it was a hideout, then it was a home. It might continue to be a home. But there's one thing that's a little jarring about the place. It seems that you have a collection of roommates. These restless dead that seem to watch, drift. They have their own little routines. They seem to be going about them, moving from sink to chair, eating imaginary meals. But they watch Shadow very specifically. Eyes always darting, faces contorting, visions of confusion, sorrow, worry, hope, anger. But your home is no longer as empty as you thought. And it seems like this interaction, this brush with something that is beyond the pale, has left an indelible mark on both of your spirits. And now, there will be places within Duskfall that you can see that are beyond the naked eye.
They don't feel particularly hostile. Yes, just people.
They just exist. Just nights ago, these were the living. These are the ghosts that you brought with you from that device in your satchel.
Oh. Sterling will kind of look to the device. I'm assuming it's sitting on a shelf or I'll say a shelf.
That cracked bell with all of those wires and pieces sits upon the one of the main tables of your abode.
Sterling will look to Vivian. I'm so sorry I got us into this.
Typically, I do like when you apologize, but now isn't the time for it. The way I see it, I am the one who murdered innocent people in a church. And then my failing almost got your soul ripped apart. I believe this one is on me, my love.
He shakes his head. And he'll, turn you around and just put his hands up to you, touching fingers, and kiss your hand. And just shake his head. No. You are not to blame for any of this. Are you okay? Truly, darling.
We're servants to a demon. Or some ancient being that he serves. We have to let good people die. Were you aware what the demon said while it was inside of you?
Kind of winces at that and then regains his composure. Yes. He could be here somehow right now, I suppose. Then Sterling kind of smiles. I've actually thought about this puzzle for some time, darling.
A puzzle? You're talking about puzzles now?
Stay with me. Your enemy can see everything, knows everything, is everywhere. Well, if that's the case, then nothing really matters, does it? No matter what you just choose to do, they're always a step ahead. Yes?
Correct.
And it knows what we're going to do, so we can't do anything, right?
Yes?
Then what's to stop us from doing what we want when it doesn't matter anyway? Why can't we just do what we were going to do in the first place? It could have killed us. It can still kill us. There's no reason to pretend it can't kill us or get at us anywhere. But what I won't allow is for my wife to have fear in her own home. We go as we are. We continue as we will. We are not in service to anyone. I am not in service to anyone but you.
That it would pluck your soul into 1,000 pieces.
I would rather my soul wander eternally in the dusk than put an eldritch god on the throne of the Imperium.
Well, I'm sure that's very easy for you to say.
You don't think so?
I Would rather an eldritch god sit on a throne if it meant that at the end of our days you get to come with me wherever I go. Which, as of right now, is not looking very good, considering I would wager my soul is, well, probably not going anywhere good.
Vivian, if you weren't there to kill those two acolytes, they still would have died.
I know.
It's not on you.
It is. I did it. And it would be on whoever did it in my stead if I wasn't there.
Giving up on yourself?
No.
Do you think I'm a monster for murdering?
I think you are good in spite of it.
Can't you say the same about yourself?
I see what you're doing.
Do you?
How very logical of you.
You know, when I first met you, you were an opponent, you were a threat. I knew you what you were capable of. That didn't stop me from anything that's happened in the years since.
I'm sure you have a point.
It doesn't change how I feel about you. It doesn't change our life together.
Well, if you're not around, it does. That's my only fear, my only worry. It's that you will be gone, taken from me.
I suppose I can't fault you for being selfish and wanting to keep me all to yourself.
Of course, you are mine, and no one else's. Can't have a demon tearing your soul apart. That's my job.
He smiles. Well, go ahead, darling. And he gently begins to undress her and says, "Tear my soul apart."
Oh, she will. Oh, she will. She would take his face in her hands and begin to kiss him.
We'll fade to black and allow the rest of the deepest part of the night to pass. It's odd for Shadow, because sleep, when it does finally come, is entirely dreamless. No nightmare, no horrors just behind your eyelids. It's, well, you wouldn't call it restful or restorative, but it isn't filled with the horrors that you thought it might. And the next day, in that gloomy, dusky, barely glow, you awake, and it's odd. There's like the sounds of people making breakfast, speaking, the clinking of spoons and coffee cups coming from just inside your kitchen. When you go to explore and you open the door to look inside, no one's there. Your home is fully haunted in a very demonstrable way. And upon your beautiful furniture, that gorgeous hardwood table that dominates the kitchen, there's a scratch upon the surface, and it simply says, "Thanks for breakfast, Shadow." You're not totally certain what that means. You go about your morning, ablutions. You wash yourself, take care of things, maybe have a little meal, shaky hands, or shaky legs, as the case may be. And you find a note upon your door. And you've come to realize that the organization that Corin operated underneath does know where your hidden lair is. And this letter states, very simply, an invitation. Where Corin would find a third-party location, his own shop, to parlay and do business, this is an invitation to... Let me brush up really quickly upon my
Upon thy notes?
My notes. Well, it's actually not my notes. It's literally... right. Within the Lord Governor's manor, there is to be a ball.
Oh boy.
Oh, not the Lord Governor.
There is to be a ball at the Lord Governor's stronghold. And this is to be the precursor event to last 3 hours, and then in a grand show of support for the working man of Duskval. The Lord Governor, alongside good compatriots, among many are listed, as well as Lord Dunville. You will head down to a factory of no particular consequence in order to make a grand declaration about the city. This invitation is for 2, and you're both incredibly seasoned scoundrels, and thus you understand that there's a little bit of invisible ink upon the back. And that invisible ink seems to be a rough map of the Lord Governor's stronghold, which also gives you the location in which you are to meet and the time at which you are to meet. You're going to have a little rendezvous before the ball actually begins with your correspondence within whatever organization this happens to be. This is dated for 1 week from today, giving you plenty of time for rest and relaxation and perhaps the consequences of your actions in a more grand way. But, folks, tonight is a short episode. And thus, we are going to call it right there. I know we've only been with you for a very short time and you're used to longer episodes, but this seems an appropriate place to call it for the evening. We will return next time with our downtimes, the entanglements that come from such a heat level, and the reputation gain for blue coats and spirit wardens, giving a little bit of gossip about these two having an altercation with a demon. So, from us to you, and from Duskval to everyone else, and, of course, from Evil Hat.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
Look at the little evil hat.
Yeah,
He's so
and
cute.
from Evil Hat. Well, this is actually, we'll close it out on this. That right there is a rose from Victoria Ash from the BNS LARP. That's Evil Hat from the Creator Program, and this is a Jason Carl plushie. And right here are black salted licorice Swiss bites from the Morkborg booth. This is one of my favorite little displays. But
I love
regardless,
that.
He's adorable.
yeah, he's adorable.
That's cute.
He's adorable.
He waves goodbye.
Yeah, he waves goodbye, and so do we. We will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.